real key to this week has been taxes, right? Neil talked about this a lot yesterday, and it started actually before that. Let's run through it here for a moment, and then we'll talk about it some. But a lot of it here at Fox Business and Fox News Channel to some degree as well, beginning with Congressman Mark Meadows, who told Neil this.
I know that we had our caucus meet with the chairman to talk about not only the border adjustment tax, but overall tax reform. And what the chairman indicates is that he hopes to have a bill where we can vote on that by this summer.
Was it your understanding and the chairman's understanding that you would wed the corporate tax relief with the personal income rate relief at the same time?
I think you have to, Neil.
So we started to get an idea there on Tuesday what the timing might be for the tax reform, and then we had the 1-2 punch that first you heard on Varney and Company. Watch.
Lowering the overall tax burden on American business is big league. That's coming along very well. We're way ahead of schedule, I believe, and we're going to be announcing something, I would say, over the next 2 or 3 weeks that will be phenomenal in terms of tax.
We're very excited in the next couple of weeks. The president said he'll make a statement. This one will probably be much more bold and ambitious. And we're looking at the 1986 tax cuts by President Reagan. We're looking at the realities of today's economy, the crushing unaffordability of everyday life that many American families tell us here in the White House about, and really taking the yoke off the businesses as well.
So then just hours later yesterday, as we moved into the afternoon following Kellyanne Conway's comments, our own Blake Berman has been doing a terrific job here in the first few weeks of this administration in covering the White House, was able to get the White House through its spokesman to disclose even more.
Sounds like he's a little bit more confident for the businesses than individual tax breaks for Americans. Is the business component at this point ahead of the individual component?
No, we're looking at, in the next few weeks, rolling out the outline of a comprehensive tax plan that we've continued to work, that we'll be working with Congress on, that will address both the business side of the tax ledger as well as the individual rates.
And then finally, it's, late afternoon, getting towards early evening, and Neil is hosting Your World and gets even more out of the House Ways and Means Committee Chairman, another key figure, Kevin Brady.
Will the rich see a net tax reduction?
It depends. We're going very bold on the rate cuts.
Are you, as the chairman of the House Ways and Means Committee, going to try to offset the rate cut with limits on the deductions?
So we're really focused on how simple we can make the tax code.
Gotcha.
And so that's our primary. The middle class and working class rate cuts are going to be significant.
Significance. Investors love all this. The Dow goes up. It's well above 20,000. It's been hitting record highs the last couple of days. The question from here on out, now that we know all of this or have been told all of this, what happens if it doesn't happen? We have market watcher Gary B. Smith on that. And what do you think? I mean, it's nice to be told, and we were kind of at the, and that's kind of what we're supposed to do, is just ask the newsmakers what's going to happen. They tell us what they think is going to happen. We're saying there's a plan in 2 or 3 weeks. It's not quite as simple as that, is it?
No, I don't think so. It's interesting, Connolly. I always look at these from 2 perspectives, kind of the market perspective and the economy perspective. Right at the top, the one fellow, I guess congressman or senator, I can't recall, said, well, we won't even really see a proposal for a bill until this summer, which then you start to do the math. Really, the debate, like, Jerry was just saying with the Obamacare, is going to probably go back and forth for months. We might not see anything even voted on until the end of the year. On the one hand, I think it's the most exciting thing that Trump could do. On the other hand, I think if nothing happens, the market just kind of flatlines until then. Maybe it starts to trend up a little bit. Economically, I think we're still in the same malaise that we've been in for the past 8 years. That's why I want them to get something done sooner rather than later.
Yeah, but so we're so into, and you just mentioned it again, we're so into the timing, aren't we? That are we assuming that it does get done at some point, and it is just a matter of when, and then, and I understand timing's important to markets, but is there a chance maybe nothing gets done? Is that even being factored in at all? Or we're assuming some sort of tax reform gets done, and if we're talking so much about timing?
Yeah, you raise a good point. Does the average, big mutual fund holder, the ones that the big money guys, are they assuming it's going to get done? I'm not so sure. about that. I think they've been through this ringer, you know, the big pension funds, the big hedge fund managers, you know, been through this now. We've seen with the building of the wall. We've seen with repeal and replace Obamacare. Things take, even with Donald Trump, they take a lot longer than you think. So from that perspective, I think if it's kind of a wait and hold. I think from the average investor, they think pretty much, at least the people that voted for Trump, well, you know, he's been in 100 days. This should be done by now. So maybe they're going to be disappointed. But, you know, as we well know, they're not moving the market as much as the big guys.
And we get so distracted by other things as well, some of which we've mentioned, some of which we have in this hour, that it kind of has to work its way in, which yesterday it did. It was able to cut through. Thank you, Gary. Have a good weekend.